Hello, Dave from Enslaved by Media here. Before I get going with the video, I just wanted to say that, collectively, all us truthers will come across some information in the last couple of years that it's been quite interesting to say the least, Flat Earth, luminaries that are in our own atmosphere, dinosaurs don't exist, nuclear weapons don't exist. War is just a theater run on the media. All media is controlled by Satan. Pyramids were built recently, not thousands of years ago. And we can't forget about all the creatures, all the male to female and female to male creatures, that are all over the place. They're everywhere. Just many things. So what I'm bringing to the table today is I'm going to let you know that electromagnetism is also a hoax. Tesla and the science is all staring us down rabbit holes there as well. Okay, so electromagnetism is a hoax. The true power is resonance, combined with nitrogen in the atmosphere, which represents the greater of the gases in our atmosphere. So resonance is the true power. Without it, electromagnetism, us, breath, the air we breathe in and out, controlled resonance, okay? We operate in a resonance field created by Yahweh. And this is the truth. And anyways, watch the video and let me know what you think. Thanks.
There are lots of subdivisions in an urban area that are close to power lines. That one's about half mile away. Some are much closer, like here's one with two high tension lines 50 and 100 feet away from the house. But let's see what the electromagnetic field is for that. Here's a Gauss meter. We're at 1.8 milligauss. And I'm going to walk under this this power line. I'm now directly underneath this power line, and it's 9.3. So, needless to say, it's not going to get much higher. Well, there's 9.9, 9.2. Okay, so it's starting to decline. So, there you have it. Being really close to one of these high tension power lines doesn't necessarily increase the... People often wonder about the transformers up on telephone poles, but in subdivisions like this typical one, they are in these boxes that you see by the curb. This one has a transformer in it, and the reading here is 23.4. But just to demonstrate how the fact that, or the principle, whatever you want to call it, that the force is inversely related to the square of the distance. Here I am 4 feet away, and it's down to 1.1, which it is in a house. I'm only standing 4 feet from this box right now.
This episode is supported by Prudential. So it's Friday, April 21st, 1820. A physics professor in Denmark named Hans Christian Ørsted is in the middle of a lecture, and he's using a compass and an electric wire for a demonstration. He turns on the current that runs through the wire, and he notices that the needle in the compass starts to move. And when he turns the current off, the needle moves back to where it was. Then he runs the current through the wire in the opposite direction and sees the needle move the other way. What Ørsted demonstrated that day was a fundamental discovery, the connection between electricity and magnetism. And it changed the field of physics forever. The relationship between electricity and magnetism not only explains what Ørsted and his students witnessed in 1820, it also makes possible much of the technology that's used today, from hydroelectric dams to your smartphone. It even explains why Earth's magnetic field is essentially keeping you from being cooked alive right now. And all you really need to understand the basics of magnetism and electricity is this. If you chop a bar magnet in half, you don't end up with one north magnet and one south magnet. You end up with two magnets, each with its own north pole and south pole. This means that the magnetic field lines surrounding a magnet always form closed loops. because there are actually 3 right-hand rules. Just take your right hand and point your thumb in the direction of the electric current. Now curl your fingers. The direction your fingers are curling, that's the way the magnetic field lines are pointing. And likewise, if you know the direction of the magnetic field lines, you can use the rule to figure out the direction of the current.
One crazy thing I found out about this iPhone 6s, guys, is if you go ahead and open the compass app, the way this phone is currently situated, it's supposed to be pointing at northeast. And as you guys can see right now, it's not giving me a valid degree, and it's spinning all over the place. So if I tilt it slightly, look at this. The whole circle is just going all over the place, and it's completely inaccurate. It's telling me I'm going like northwest or something. Let's go ahead and see one more time. Like if I open up that compass app, look at this, north. This is inaccurate. Now it's not even showing me anything down below here. Like, this is insane. This app is broken. Like, what? It's not even spinning. This thing is not even spinning.
Table measurement. I will demonstrate this to you. It will be lower, but you will have more of the same value. When I start here, you see about 2003, 4 as a maximum, and then we go to nil again, and again we go to 2004 here. You see?
I'm just looking for the sweet spot in the curve. There. Somewhere here. Yeah, so it's around 350 max. Half inch by 1/4 inch by 1/8. Compared to the 3mm, it's like 10 times bigger. So let's measure that. It shoots up to 2000.
Okay, want to do a little experiment. I have a tri-field meter, a neodymium magnet, and a tuning fork. I've shown this experiment before, and I just wanted to show it again in case anyone missed it out there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first check the battery setting on the tri-field meter. As you can see, it works. And let me bring it a little closer so you can see that that is a battery setting, and it works. So next we're going to put it to the magnetic field, okay? And as you notice, nothing's being registered, okay? The magnet's sitting right there. Watch what happens when I touch the magnet, okay? When I move the magnet, that's when you see a magnetic field. Okay, when I don't touch nothing, the magnetic field is not being registered. So this leads me to conclude that the magnetic field doesn't happen when the magnet is still. Okay, so let's test that further. I got a tuning fork here, and I'm going to ring it, and then I'm going to put it on one side, then the other, and then I'm going to put it in the middle, and we're going to see what happens. Now in the middle. See that? It's vibrating the magnetic field. So my contention is that the magnetic field is only in operation when it's moving. So that's why in all our motors throughout the whole world, the magnets are spinning, right? Creating the power. We know this. So why isn't when the magnet is still, it's doing nothing and it's not registering a magnetic field? Certainly the magnetic tri-field meter should pick up on that magnet's field, right? Because it's sitting right there next to it. But no, only when the magnet is moving does it register. Okay? See how I move it? And when there's sound nearby. See that move? Just that little bit of sound right there. And let me take away the magnet. So it's not the sound all by itself that does it, but it's an effect that it has with the magnet there, okay? So the magnet's still nothing, okay? Magnetism isn't being registered right now. I'd like to know why, if anyone out there knows why it's not being registered. To me, it seems like it's not there unless the magnet is moving or being affected by sound. Otherwise, when you just leave it alone, it settles out on its own. But any kind of sound nearby will set it off, okay? Vibrations, resonance, okay? So, again, it's my contention that resonance is the key driver in all motors containing magnets. The magnet spin inside of motors is where we get the true power from, and it's all limiting power. Every machine that we have, that we use, is limited. You know, they're all limited in some way. This is one of these the insides of a blender, you know, one of them fast blenders, okay? And the way that the steel is put together, it resonates, okay? It sends off a resonance field, okay? Everything is at 60 hertz, which is limiting, okay? 60 hertz is what comes in from the transformer. But what goes down the transmission lines, you know, the big tower walkers, that's resonance energy being blasted down now, okay? You ever notice those towers, those wires are all, you know, aluminum with some nickel mixed in them. They're not copper. Copper can never send voltage that far, you know, it would only go 300 feet and stop. So it's a different kind of power that's being sent down the walkers. It's a resonance. And once it hits the transformers at our street level, that's when it's changed into 60 hertz for all our machines. You know, every machine, whether it's a pool pump, a blender, an alternator in a car, you know, it's all run with spinning magnets, copper, and resonating iron. So there you go. A magnetic field doesn't exist unless it is moved. Thank you.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. And the evening and the morning were the second day. And God said, "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And God saw that it was good. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth." And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the third day. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night,
and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth.
And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. And God said,
Let the waters bring forth